Okay, so how to graph an equation? For example, graph uh, equation y equal 2x plus 1. So first, by using the plotting point, by so first things we have to draw a table. For example, let me draw the table. So this is the x value. Here is the graph y equal 2x plus 1. This is the y value. Here the order pair of the points x and y. Here we have to choose any random points, like choose negative numbers and positive numbers and the 0. So if I want to take like the -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, you plug inside the equation, -2, plug inside the equation, they give me 2 times -2. So here y equal 2 times -2 plus 1. 2 times -2 is -4, plus 1 is -3. For -1, the same thing, so y equal 2 times -1 plus 1. 2 times -1 is -2, plus 1 is -1. For the 0, 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. So here you give me, oh, sorry, here the point, it's order pair of points. So the first here, the point is -2, and -4 plus 1 is -3. Second point, -2 plus 1 is -2 plus 1 is -1. Here 0 and 1. For the 1, 2 times 1, y equal 2 times 1 plus 1. Give me 2 plus 1 is 3. 1 and 3. For the 2, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 2 and 5. Now when we graph, this is my Cartesian plane, or coordinate.
7 niggas as big as you.
So this is the x-axis.
Yeah, Boo niggas no fun nigga.
And please turn off the mic. Khan, please turn off the mic. So here y-axis. Now, to plotting this point, we go to we applying this point inside the Cartesian plane. So I have here 0 and 1. I have here 0. This is 0, and this is 1. Then you choose different color. I start from the 0 and 1. This is my 0. Here's the 1. 0, comma 1. At 1 is 3. Here's my 1. So you give me 3. So 1, 1, 2, 3. So the point here, like around here. 1, comma 3. At 2 is 2 and 5. So this is 1. This is 0. At 2, this is 2 and 5, like around here. So 2 and 5, 2 comma 5. Now the same things for the negative. -1 and -1, -1. So here's a -1. Same things around here. So this is -1 comma -1. And for -2 and -3, this is my -2, -1, -2, and -3. So around like here, like around here. So here is -2 and -3. So when you draw a line in the Weber sign, you're supposed to draw the line for all the points, like be around something like that, and you have to continue the line for both sides from to infinity and from the minus infinity. When you draw the point, when you draw the line in the Weber sign, don't draw it just from the -1, from -2 until the 2, because when you draw this, only this piece from -2 to the 2 is not look like a line. The line is supposed to go to minus infinity here and goes to the infinity. So this is the mistake for most of the students that send me email for this question. You have to suppose to draw the line until like not just only this point, you have to draw it also for the minus infinity here. Like it's supposed to be with a row like this, or you have to draw some points from -3 and -4 and etc. Okay. So this is the draw of the line. This is example for how to draw a line. Anyone has a question? How to draw a line or equation look like this? It's clear now?
Yes.
Okay. The same things for drawing anything, but you have to use this table. Pick any points for like as x, like input, plug it inside the equation. After you plug inside the equation, you get the point, and then after you get this point, you draw a line between this point. Here I get, how about U-shaped curve like parabola? So when you get the same idea exactly, same things for the parabola equation or U-shaped graphs, you plug this point, and instead you have to continue the graph from both sides, from the x-axis positive and the negative x-axis. Okay, Chris? Okay, today we have to go 1 over to 1.7 inequality. It's the last section for this chapter. This section is not inside the, is not including, it's not in the exam 1 Thursday. So for inequality, so we have to know the inequality, it's look like an equation. But instead of equal sign, we have to use greater than or less than or greater than or equal or less than or equal. So this is the first thing we have to know here. So inequality looks like equation but instead of equal sign, we replace it by one of like less than, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal. Let me give you example for inequality. For example, something like that, like 4x plus 7 less than or equal 19. So this is an equality. Why? Because we replace the equal as less than or equal. So this is example of inequality. Then we have to know some rules for inequality. First things to know, if A less than B and we need to add the same quantity for the both sides, I get an equivalent inequality for this one. So I get 1A plus C is less than B plus C. So this inequality, like I said in equation, it's similar to equation. This inequality is equivalent to this inequality when we add the same quantity for the both sides for this inequality. So here I add actually C for both sides. I get inequality equivalent to this one. Second rule said if I have A less than or equal B, and I want to subtract this time A minus C less than or equal B minus C. So again, if I subtract the same quantity for the both sides, minus C minus C, I get an equality equivalent to the original one. Yes, we will do. Number 3, if I have positive number, like if I have C is greater than 0, so then to know if I want to multiply now A less than or equal B, this is equivalent. I want to multiply for both sides the same quantity, positive number. They give me A, CA less than or equal CB. So we multiply both sides by this positive number. So I get inequality equivalent to the original one. So multiply C, multiply C. Fourth one, if I have negative number, if C is negative, then I have an equality A less than or equal B, and I want to multiply this inequality by this negative number. I have to change the sign. So now I get equivalent inequality look like this: CA greater than CB. So we have to change the sign here from less than or equal to greater than or equal. Why? Because the number is negative. So again, we multiply both sides by this negative number. Is it clear until number 4? Until row number 4? So we add, subtract, multiply by positive, we multiply by negative. Anyone has a question? Okay, number 5. We go to the next slide. So rule number 5 says if A, like an equation, is greater than 0, is positive, and I mean inequality is positive, and the second one is B is positive 2, then A less than B or equal, I can take the reciprocal for this, but I have to change the sign. I can do the inverse for the inequality, but when we do the inverse for the inequality, we have to change the sign from less than or equal to greater than or equal. I can make this is equivalent to 1 over A greater than 1 over B. So here I take the reciprocal for the first one, I change the sign, and the reciprocal for the second one. So this is equivalent to this inequality. Number 6, if I have two inequality, first one is A less than or equal B, and the second one is C less than or equal D, I can add both of this inequality such that I get then A plus C less than or equal B plus T plus D. So actually I add A to C and B to D. So I get A plus C is still less than or equal B plus D. So after I adding, still the sign, the same things, did not change. Number 7 says, if I have two quality, if A less than or equal B and B less than or equal C. So look, A is less than or equal B and B is less than or equal another inequality C. I can do the transitive. So this is mean A is less than C. A less than or equal C. Look, A is less than B and B is less than C. This is mean A less than C. This is the only 7 rules we have to know. Any question for these rules? Okay, so let's do solving linear inequality. We have to solve the inequality now by using these rules. So first things we have to solve linear inequality, then we have to go to nonlinear inequality. To solve this linear inequality, we're going to use these rules. 1, 2, 3, 4. Adding, subtracting, multiplying by positive number, multiplying by negative number, adding two inequality, the reciprocal for inequality, transitive. Solving linear inequality. So what is the meaning of linear, first of all? Who will give me like equation, a linear equation, not inequality, I need linear equation. Who will remind me for linear equation? What is the meaning of linear equation from previous sections?
Is linear like 2x plus 5?
2x plus 5? Yes, exactly. This is a linear equation. So he said, example for linear equation, like example for equation linear, 2x plus 5. Why? We said the equation will be linear if the variable has exponent 1. Look at the variable here, x. X has an exponent 1. So this is a linear equation. If the variable has exponent negatives, is not a linear. If the variable has exponent fraction, is not a linear. To be a linear, suppose the variable inside the equation has exponent 1. Okay, so now solving linear inequality, I'll give you example for that. Start this by example. So the example now, solve 3x less than 9x plus 4. We do the example here. Example is solve the linear inequality 3x less than 9x plus 4. Who will give me any idea how to solve this inequality?
Would you subtract 9x from the right side? And then the same thing to the right? I mean, to the left side.
Yeah, what you said, we subtract what?
9x from both sides.
Both sides. Okay, then we solve it. So this is actually a good idea. So when we have a linear inequality, the best idea here is to move all the variable in one side and all numbers in another side. So here we have, this is a variable here. 3x is a variable. And 9x, we have another variable. 4 is a number, constant number. So the idea here, move all the variable in one side and keep the number in the other side. So if we subtract 9x from both sides, we get 3x minus 9x less than 4. Then what do I have to do? What is 3x minus 9x is? We simplify it. What is 3x minus 9x? Is negative 6x less than 4. Then what we have to do?
Divide by negative 6. Both sides.
Divide by negative 6 for both sides. Or we have to multiply the reciprocal for this. The reciprocal for coefficient of x. What's the reciprocal for coefficient of x? What is it? What is it? The reciprocal for this one is negative 1 over 6. And we have to multiply this side also, the reciprocal, it's negative 1 over 6. Or, like she said, we divide both sides by negative 6. This is true. But we here multiply both sides by a negative number. Look at the negative. What does that mean? By using the rule number 4. What we have to change? If the number is negative, we have to change what?
You flip the sign.
Yes, we change the sign from less than or equal to greater than or equal. So here we multiply both sides or we divide both sides by negative number. This is mean we have to change the sign here from less than to greater than. So here I can the -6 and the reciprocal, they canceling each other, I get x. Now I change the sign to greater than. Here I get 4, -4/6. Okay, any question? We can simplify this. What is the simplify for -4/6?
-2, 3. -2 over 3.
Over 3, yes. So this is the solution for this inequality. All the numbers is greater than -2/3. Like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the solution for this inequality. If you plug 1, we get right answer. 2, yes. 3, yes. How we can graph this answer? By using the real line. So actually these things here is exactly look like from -2/3 to infinity. This is the answer. From -2/3 to infinity. This is all solution for the inequality. Now to represent the solution on the line, on the real line, so this is my real line. At -2/3 is open circle. Why? Because it's not, we don't have the equal inside inside this sign. So this is -2/3. And the solution for everything to infinity. Here is to everything to infinity. So this is the solution for this, the graph solution. Okay. Any question how to graph the solution on the real line? Okay. Another example is called simultaneous inequality. Solve for less than or equal 3x minus 2 less than 13. How we can solve these things? how we can do this, how we can solve this simultaneous inequality. So for linear inequality, like this, we move all the variable in one side and the numbers in the other side. But here we have two inequality in the same things in the same time, less than or equal and less than. So how we can do this inequality? How we can solve these things? Any idea? Any idea how to solve this inequality?
If it's simultaneous, don't you have to do it to both sides?
Yes, exactly. We have to do it for both sides. This means if I want to add, I have to add for both sides. If I want to subtract, I have to subtract for both sides. So here, to solve simultaneous inequality, we have to solve it until we get x less than or equal less than number. This is mean we have to solve this until we get x between two inequality symbols. So first things, what we have to do here, what we have to add. Yes, we have to add 2 for both sides, for all sides. So when I add 2 for all sides, this will be cancelled. This is cancelled here. Now I get 3x between 4 times 2, 4 plus 2 is
6,
6, and 13 plus 2 is
15.
15. Now we have to multiply by the reciprocal of the leading of this term here. Or we can subtract, dividing all sides by the 3. So dividing all the side by 3 or multiplying by the reciprocal, what we're going to have?
2,
2 less than or equal x less than
5.
5. So look here, we're dividing all sides by positive number. This is mean the sign doesn't change. We have to use the same inequality sign, less than or equal, less than. And this is my solution for the inequality. So if I plug any number between 2 and 5, will be true for solving this inequality. For example, if I plug the 3 is between 2 and 5, will be a solution for this inequality. Now, how to draw the solution in the real line? So this is my real line here. And the solution at 2 is the closed circle because we have equal. This is 2. At 5, we have open circle because we don't have an equal symbols. And the solution is between 2 and 5. This mean will be, this is the set of the solution. Okay, any question for these things? Okay, let's now go to the nonlinear inequality. It's clear how to solve linear inequality. Solving nonlinear inequality. So let me give you an example for nonlinear inequality. Example, solve x squared minus 5x less than or equal minus 6. First of all, this is not linear. Why? Why this is not linear inequality? Why this is not linear inequality?
It's not a linear equality because I think the x squared makes it a parabola.
Yes, because here, if we look into this variable x squared, and like I said, if the exponent here is 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, that make the inequality nonlinear. And for linear, we supposed be the exponent for the variable only 1. So that's why this is not a linear inequality. So we have some steps to solve this linear inequality. First one, we have to move everything.
Why?
What you said?
I said, can you explain why it's not linear?
Okay, this is not linear. Why? Because the exponent for the variable here, x, is 2. When I have inside the inequality variable with exponent more than 2 or 2, this mean nonlinear.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So we have steps. The first one here we have to move all terms to one side. This is the first step. Move everything to one side. So the other side will be 0. Second step, we have to factor and find the zeros. Third step, find the sign. Fourth one, solve. Okay, let's applying this steps to this inequality. Move all terms to one side. How we can move everything to one side here? So we can move the 6 is easier to this side, right? This means we have to add 6 for both sides, right? So let's add 6 for both sides. So I get x squared here plus 6 plus 6. Minus 6 plus 6, they cancel each other. I get x squared minus 5x plus 6 less than or equal 0. Now, second step, factor and find the 0. How we can factor these things? What is the factor for x squared minus 5x plus 6? What is the factor?
-3 and -2.
Yes. So I get x -3 because -3 times -2, they give me 6. -3 minus 2 is giving me -5. So x minus 3 and x minus 2. Now, and find the 0. This is mean make it equal 0 to find the 0. Now, what's the zeros for this equation? So by using the property from before, I said a times b equals 0. This is mean a equals 0 or b equals 0. So you're applying this property to this equation. Now, what's the 0 for this one? By applying this property. So this means x minus 3 equals 0 or x minus 2 equals 0. Solve this linear equation. What I get? To solve this linear equation, we have to add 3 for both sides. So I get x equal 3, or I add 2 for both sides here, x equal 2. So x equal 3 and x equal 2 is the zeros for this equation here. Any question until step number 2? Anyone has a question for until step number 2? Okay, no question. Let's do number 3, step number 3. Find the sign. So to find the sign, we have to draw a line, a real line. This is my real line. And inside this real line, I have the point x equal 3 and x equal 2. So this is x equal 2 and here x equal 3. And because we have equal, less than or equal, this means we have to put it dark circle. Now, to find the sign, I have to pick any number between 2 and 3, and the same things, any number more than 3, and the same here, any number less than 2, and you plug it inside this equation, and you check the sign for the number. So pick any number greater than 3. Which number would you like to take greater than 3?
5.
5. Okay, let's take 5. Plug this 5 inside the equation here. 5 squared minus 5 times 5 plus 6. What's the answer? 5 squared is 25 minus 5 times 5 is 25, 0 plus 6. The answer is 0, 6. Now the sign for the 6 is positive. This is mean all the number here, the sign here, be positive. for any number you pick greater than 3 will be positive. Is it clear? Now pick any number less than 2. Pick easy number less than 2.
-1.
-1. What about the 0?
Huh?
Is the 0 less than 2?
Is the 0 what?
Less than 2?
Yeah.
Yes, so the 0 is here. Let's plug the 0 inside the formula. Inside this one.
So 0 squared
0 square
minus 5
times what? 0
plus 6,
plus 6. What I get?
6.
6. And what's the sign for the 6? It has a positive sign.
Yeah.
So this is mean here, any number I pick will give me positive. Now, pick any number between 2 and 3.
2.5.
2.5. Or 5.2, right? 2.5 is not here.
You said any number between 2 and 3?
But yes, what is it?
Yeah, I said 2.5.
2.5? Yes. 2.5. Plug this number inside the equation. 2.5 square minus what? 5 times 2.5 plus 6. What I get?
Five.
What is the answer is 5?
Oh, no, I mean
Yeah.
5 squared
Two.
is 5 minus.
Now this is not 5 square, it's 2.5.
Yeah, I said
This is 2.5 square is
5.
6. It's not 5. 2.5
Oh, square. Oh,
square times 2.5 is not times 2. This is different. It's 6.25.
okay.
So the answer here is, after you do calculation for everything here, you get minus 0.25. What is the sign for this number?
Negative.
Negative. So this is mean the sign here will be negative. Now you go back to the question. The question asks x squared minus 5x plus 6 less than or equal 0. This is mean, what's the solution if I plug inside this equation, they give me negative numbers or 0. So I go back to the sign, I look at which solution they give me negative if I plug it inside the equation. I find it's only these things, this interval. This interval, if I plug any number between 2 and 3 inside this equation, they give me negative numbers or 0. So the solution, step number 4, so here, let me explain more. I go back, and this is the only set. If I plug any number between this set, they give me negative. So the solution is The closed interval, why is it closed? Because the 0, it's inside the 2 to the 3. Close. This is the solution for this inequality. Any question? How to solve nonlinear inequality?
Why is it closed? Because of the 0?
Why it's closed? Because if I plug the 2 here, they give me 0. And the 0, it is like the question asked me when this equation will be negative and will be 0, because the sign here less than or equal 0. Because we have equal, this is mean when this equation will be negative and 0, it will be at 2, because at 2 they give me 0 solution. Plug this the 2 inside the inequality, they give me a 0. So the 0, it's inside the solution. That's why I make it a closed interval at 2 and 3.
Okay.
Anyone has a question? How to use the steps? No question? Okay, let's give another example. So the example now, solve x times 2x plus 5 less than or equal 0. Same steps. Move all terms to one side. Factor and find the 0. Find the sign, solve. Who will do the first step here? First step is solve, is done. We're moving everything to one side. It's moved already. Second step, factor. Who will factor and find the zeros? What is the factor for these things? What is the factor?
Would it be x plus 2? I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So these things here, if we look into this one, it's look like factored already.
Yeah.
Right? It's
So
look like
x
factored.
equals to 0.
Yes. Okay. X equal to 0. And what's the other solution?
So you subtract 5. Okay, so it's 2x plus 5 equals 0.
Okay.
Minus 5 from both sides.
Okay.
And then divide 2 from both sides.
Okay. Perfect. What I get? 5
You
over
get
2.
5 over 2.
So I get the two zeros. The first 0 is x equal 2, x equal 0, because like using the property like before, if I have a times b equals 0, this is the mean a equals 0 or b equals 0. So now here, the factor for these things is factor already. We cannot factor it more. We keep it the same things. Now to find the 0 by using the property like before, x equals 0 or this things equal 0. Now to solve this one, we subtract 5 for both sides. I get 2x equal minus 5. I divide both sides by 2. I get x equal minus 5 over 2. And 5 minus 5 over 2 is the same as x equal minus 2.5. Okay, now step number 3, find the sign. So we draw a line. So we draw a line. In this line we have the 2 point 0 is closed because it's equal 0. So the 0 is a 0 for this equation, and minus 2 and minus 2.5 minus 2.5. Now to check the sign, we have to pick any number greater than 0, any number between minus 2.5 to 0, and any number less than this number, less than minus 2.5. What number would you like to pick greater than 0?
3.
3. Plug the 3 inside this equation. What I have? 3 times 2 times 3 plus 5. What is the answer? 2 times 3 is 6, plus 5 is 11. 3 times 11 is 33. The number is positive or negative?
Positive.
It's positive. So this means the sign here will be positive. Any number you pick greater than 0, they give me positive number. Now, pick any number between minus 2.5 and 0. Which number would you like to take?
-1.
Negative 1. Plug the negative 1 inside this equation. 2 times negative 1 plus 5. What I get? Negative 1 times 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 plus 5 is negative 3, is positive 3. So minus 1 times 3 is negative 3. So the number here is negative. So this is mean any number between this one and this one, they give me negative. Now pick any number greater than this, smaller than this, smaller than minus 2.5.
3.
3, negative 3. So let's take negative 3. Plug inside the equation. Negative 3 times 2 times negative 3 plus 5. What I have? Negative 3. 2 times negative 2 is negative 3 is negative 6. Plus 5 is negative 1. Negative 3 times negative 1 is 3 positive. So this is mean is positive. The sign here will be positive. So again, positive, positive, positive. Now we go back to the question. The question is find when this equation is greater than or equal 0, like when this equation is positive or 0. So it will be positive here in this interval, and also here, and 0. So the 0 to infinity, and from minus 2.5 to minus infinity. So the solution is from 0 to infinity, and the 0 is inside the interval to infinity. Union means and. This is mean and. From minus 2.5 to negative infinity. Or you can write it in a different way. Here is, we can write this one in the correct way. It's from minus infinity to minus 0.5. And here is closed because the 2.5, they give me 0. Union from 0 to infinity. So this is the solution for this inequality. Any question? If you have a question, please ask. If you have any question, please ask.
I have a question.
What's your
What
question?
was the U again? I forgot.
It's like the end. It's like union.
Oh.
It's like and. We use it as like the union here, it means and. From negative infinity to minus 2.5, and this interval from 0 to infinity. Another question for this one? Okay, now how we can draw the solution as a real line, like here, like this. So the solution as a graph for this question here is supposed to be like that. Draw the line. And this two, inside this two line, we have to put the points. The first point is 2 and 3. And we draw like this is 2, 3, and the line between them. For this one, it's clear how we draw the solution as a line. You put the both of the point, and you draw a line between the both of the 2 points. Here, the solution would be as a line, look like this. We draw a line again here. Put it here. Hold on. This thing. Here, this is my line. How about here in the middle? So from minus infinity to minus 2.5, like from minus infinity to the minus 2.5, this is minus 2.5. All these things. And here from 0 to infinity, this is 0 to infinity. These things. Okay? Any question? This is a draw solution as a line from minus infinity to minus 2.5, from 0 to infinity. Another example. For nonlinear equation. The example is solve 1 plus x over 1 minus x is greater than or equal 1. How we can solve it? By using the steps. So go back to the steps, move all terms to one side, then factor, then find the sign, then solve. So to move this everything to one side, we can subtract the 1 from both sides. So when we subtract the 1 from both sides, this mean will be cancelled here, 0. So now I get 1 plus x over 1 minus x minus 1 make it plus minus 1 is greater than or equal 0. Second things, we have to solve these things. We have to make it as one fraction. What we have to do? Who will do it? I need one fraction only. Is it greater than or equal 0? How we can simplify these things? Or we can solve it? By using the least common denominator or by using the cross multiply. But here is easier to use the cross multiply. Who will do the cross multiply? What we have to multiply?
Negative 1 times 1 minus x, which gives
Okay.
you
Negative 1 times 1 minus x, okay? Here over 1 actually.
plus
Plus what? This things times 1. 1 plus x over
1 minus x.
1 minus x. Okay, now this things is greater than or equal 0. We can simplify it more. I get -1 times these things we can distribute. -1 times negative x is positive x. Here we get 1 plus x plus 1 plus x over 1 minus x greater than or equal 0. We need to simplify it more. I have -1 with the 1 is cancelled each other. Let me use different color. Because -1 plus 1 is 0. Now x plus x, they give me what? 2x over 1 minus x. Everything greater than 0. Now, so after we simplify it, we go to the step number 3. Find this number 2, factor and find the zeros. So we have to factor the numerator, we have to factor the denominator, we have to find the 0 for both of them. So the factor of 2x is the same because it's factored already, and equals 0 to find the 0. We divide both sides by 2 to find the 0. I get x equals 0. So this is the first 0 for the numerator. Now for the denominator, so the factor of 1 minus x is the same. It's factored already. Then equals 0. So this is linear. To solve linear, we add x for both sides. So I get x equal 1. This is the second 0. So now the third step, I found the zeros and I factored. Find the sign. So I have to draw a sign. And I have to put both of the zeros. X equals 0 will be as a closed circle. So here's the 0. And x equal 1. But because x equal 1, it's in the denominator down, here cannot be equal 0. This means I will put the x equal 1 as open circle. Any question until here? Until here, is it clear? So now we have to pick any number between, like greater than 1, between 0 and 1, and less than 0, like before. Again, why we put open circle for the 1? Because the 1 here is a 0 in the denominator for this fraction. And the 0 for the denominator is undefined. I cannot plug 1 inside this fraction. If I plug the 1, I get 2 over 0, and 2 over 0 is undefined. That means I have to put the 1 as open circle. Make sense? Now, pick any number greater than 1. Which one would you like to pick? Which number would you like to pick? Give me any number greater than 1.
2.
2. Plug the 2 inside the equation here. I get 2 times 2 over 1 minus 2. They give me 2 times 2 is 4 over 1 minus 2 is minus 1, and they give me 9 minus 4. The number is negative. I get negative. Now pick any number less than 0.
-1.
Negative 1. Plug it inside the fraction here. I get 2 times -1 over 1 minus -1. What I get?
-2 over 2.
Over 2. And this is mean is negative number, -1. So again, here is negative.
Okay. So basically, every other number besides 1 is the right answer.
Besides 1, right?
Yeah.
So let's choose any number is between 0 and 1. Which number would you like to choose? Which number?
0.5.
0.5 or 1/2. Yes. Plug it. 2 times 1/2 over 1 minus 1/2. 2 times 1/2 is 1. 1 minus 1/2 is
Math.
1/2. 1 over 1/2 is
2.
2. Exactly. The number here is positive, the 2. So the sign will be positive. Go back to the question. The question asks when this fraction is greater than or equal 0, when this fraction is positive or 0. Will be positive in this only interval from the 0, because they ask for the 0, and the 1. The 1 is open interval. So the solution is closed interval from 0 to 1, and the 1 is open interval. And to draw this things on the real line, the same idea like before. We have the real line here. We have the 0. We have the 1 is open. And here is the solution. Any question? Makes sense now? Any question? Anyone has a question?
I think the only thing that's really going up in my head is -1. Is the second step that you use to solve the problem. No, on the other side.
This one?
No, on the other side.
The other side here.
The second one thing. I'm trying to figure out how you got the -1 and 1 minus x plus.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let me explain how we get. So, like in the first section in the book, we learn how to add any two fractions, a over b plus c over d. To do this, we have to do the cross multiply, a times d, b times b, and b times over b times d. So this one, we're applying the same things here. 1 plus x times 1, negative 1 times these things, over 1 minus x times 1. This is what I did here.
Okay.
It's clear? So we cross multiply this one times this one times this one. And again, we multiply the one with this one over 1 minus x times 1. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any question for this question, for this example? Okay. Last things before we go over the quiz. The absolute value. Let me give you just the rules, the property for the absolute value. And next time I will give you example for this one. Absolute value. So first things we have to know the property. If I have something like that, the absolute value for x less than number, the solution would be like x between the negative of this number and this number, the c, the positive. Number 2, if the absolute value for x is less than or equal to this number c, same things. They give me x less than or equal negative c, and between negative less than or equal to positive c. 3, if the absolute value for x is greater than c, we solve it as x is greater than c, or x less than minus c. 4, the absolute value for x is greater than or equal c, same things, x is greater than or equal c, or x less than or equal negative c. Now, how to draw the solution for this inequality? This is look like inequality. So here's the line. For the first one, I will give it to you fast, and next time I'll explain more. Here is open circle, minus c, solution between these 2 points. For the second one is a closed circle. Oh, let me stop until here. We have the quiz. So go over the web sign. Next time I'll explain about how to graph this one. Go over the web sign. So I'll stop until here today. The quiz will be appear at 7:30 and will be finished at 7:45. Okay, I will finish the class until here today.